I was just on here a few hours ago and we made this page, the beautiful page you see in front of you. And we're going to talk about another aspect of this. So watch my first video to understand a philosophy of copywriting and how to move slow, how to be meticulous. And that's actually not as slow as we move sometimes. I mean, sometimes we might take a month before we put pen to paper. That's how slow a lot of companies move. A month's even fast. You might wait 6 months if you're really coming out with a hot advertising program. So we'll discuss that philosophy another day and watch that first video to get a taste of the philosophy. This time, we're going to be going over MVPs. So I didn't really prepare some photos for you. MVP, what is? If you look up what an MVP is, it's a minimum viable product. So the whole idea of an MVP is you don't want to start out with this top part. A wheel, and then 2 wheels, and then the frame, and then the full car. Because it takes all the way till that fourth phase to finally have a product that's useful. You want to start with a skateboard, and a scooter, and a bike. That's a decent version of MVP. And because every single version, it's usable. From day one, you can use it. So this isn't actually how we do MVP in our company. I prefer this way. Because you can see they have the same sample here. It's a wheel, 2 wheels, frame, and full body. But then they even say this is not how to do MVP either. And I agree. I don't do MVP this way. How to build is actually to start out with your full in-frame. So the frame here is the same as the frame there. And then you slowly add on MVP, you can then understand quite well why we do what we do. Because, as you see on this website, it's full frame from the very, very beginning. And it's monstrous. It's huge. There's so many pages that are empty right now. Now, why do we call it MVP 1 already? That's because the site's already usable. You have a main page. And if you have a main page and you have your framework there, everybody understands where it's going to go a year from now. They understand what the full intent and purpose of this is. So we create that frame first. And that's a big deal compared to how other companies work. A lot of other companies, they don't do MVP model. They'll just build the wheel. They'll make the wheel beautiful. And they're not realizing, look how ugly these wheels are back here. I mean, even those wheels are better than these wheels. So in our company, we make a beautiful framework that's really solid, and we make sure the structure's there. And then moving past that structure, we slowly fill in each area. The very first thing we did was we made page 1 gorgeous. So let's look at the car again. They at least put where the driver is sitting. At least that is safe and it works. The next thing they do is they add the pickup truck bed to it. They make it a little bit more functional before they make it beautiful. So that's essentially where we are right now in the copywriting phase. I consider this MVP 2, and we already did MVP 1 because we have the full framework up. And you want to really push a company just to get a framework up. And then when you go to different areas, you can see, here we go. We still have lorem ipsum in here. So this is MVP 1 in my opinion. This is the back bed of the truck that needs filled in. And so we're going to be transitioning from MVP 1 over to MVP 2. And in some phases we're still on MVP 1, other phases we're on MVP 2. And that's how we talk about our company. So when we go and look at our planner board, we actually have these little tabs out here talking about what phase of MVP we're on. And that helps us understand how much time and energy we should put onto the project. If it's MVP 1 only, then man, we fly through it. We cheat, steal, copy, paste. We just blab in there. We put anything we can to get the product out the door as fast as freaking possible. Because if you see this truck back here, that is not a pretty truck. it just works. That's it. So that's what we do in MVP1. And that's essentially where the site is. It works. I mean, it's an ugly beast. Those words don't mean anything, but the site, it does work. It could be functional live. Now, let's go and show you what the actual website looks like. We have another website up there right now, diallearning.org. This is what actual clients see. Now, this does work. This is an actual page, and this was our MVP1. And we liked this so much. It was very one-dimensional. It only really talks about the Curiosity program that we have. So we moved it all over to its own company, and that's kind of what I'm talking to you guys through right now, is our Ignite Curiosity program. So the Ignite Curiosity program, it's just one out of 20 different programs we have. So we put it on its own website, but when you still go to the official Dow Learning website, I mean, it looks the same as that Ignite Curiosity. It doesn't make sense why we'd have two websites that look the same. But the whole idea is we just want it to stay there until we eventually get this localhost version. Let me go back to the main page. When you go to the main page here, you get a lot better feel for this international NGO. It's doing projects all over the world, that it's not limited just to igniting curiosity and helping people do small-time education. It also has fitness, wellness, preschool, business, enterprise stuff. We do philanthropy. So anyway, it's a way bigger project. So how I'm running the strategy on that MVP is to keep one up on the web until we get all the copy done here. And I'm not taking that copy at a crazy high-end level. My last video I showed you guys, that was an hour and a half, and all we got accomplished was this little area right here. So on this one, if you get tasked with this kind of company, a lot of people get upset. They're like, man, my client has no money. They won't pay me very much. I'm just pissed off. Like you'll see an area down here, and they'll tell you to, we have 300 words and we need copy for it, and we'll pay $20. And you're like, what the heck? $20? That's not worth my time. But what you're not realizing is they're asking for MVP1. That's the big crucial difference in how you're not going to get upset and realize they do value your time, they do value your energy, but they need MVP1. They just need something to get out the door, just something to work. I mean, go back and look at that truck. This is what they're asking for. They're like, just help my vehicle move, make it functional. And if you do that well, and if you work well in MVP1, they'll rehire you. And do you notice it's the exact same vehicle here? And you might get upset like, well, why didn't you just hire me on the first version to do the second one? I could have done this from the beginning. But if you have that mentality, you're not understanding they needed you to do MVP1, and they needed to sell 10 of these just to be able to afford you to do MVP2. They literally cannot afford the paint to put on this sucker until they sell enough of this version back here. And that's called bootstrapping a business. So when you bootstrap a business, I mean, the biggest companies in the world bootstrap. I've worked for the biggest companies in advertising and entertainment, and they are the cheapest, most ghetto companies you can think of. They hold stuff together with duct tape, and they understand more than anybody how to do this MVP1 stuff. They'll kick a product out, and if they make it this crappy and it doesn't sell, then they're like, oh, not worth it, and they let it go. That's how the big companies work. And the small-time people, they think, well, you need to make a very fashionable car, very fashionable copy, and beautiful advertisement. Otherwise, you're not rich. Otherwise, you're not a real business. And that attitude is what keeps you poor. That's poor mentality. The wealthy people act like they're poor, and the poor people act like they're wealthy. And when the wealthy people act like they're poor, that's what keeps them wealthy. And when the poor people act like they're wealthy, that's what keeps them poor. So when you spend your money very frugally and you only build this, it really allows you to test that product out and see if there is a market for it. So that's a little lesson on what MVP is. And now you're going to see that in action as I apply that as a copywriter. You want to use MVP literally everywhere. As you're building the products, as you're advertising, as you're selling, customer service. Every single department can do its own MVP scale. So what I want to do for that is I want to go through this website, and I've counted before, I think it was 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We have about 50 pages just in this one company. And to move this one company up the ladder to get it from MVP 1, where it is, to MVP 2, we need all this copy to look sexy. And I'm not publishing it to the real web until it's at MVP 2, because I already have my MVP 1 version up there. If you go to... I know I already showed it to you, but this is still only MVP 1. There might be a link here and there that doesn't work on it. There might be something misspelled here and there, or maybe links that aren't 100% perfect. But it's a decent website, and it does show people, at least for 2019, who our company is, what we do. And my next goal is to take this company to the $20 million level, so that we can get some bigger grants, bigger funding. And the only way to do that, at the scale that I want anyway, to where it's bringing in 100 million, 200 million, is to diversify it a lot and turn it over into this company. I don't feel like the frame that we built over here really went for that. So I don't want to jump ship and turn it into this until it's at least MVP 2, because this is a whole brand new product. Okay, so we were working on this page before, and now we're going to work on this stuff down here. And the reason I spent so much time teaching you MVP 1, MVP 2, all of that, is if you don't understand that, you're going to think I don't know what I'm talking about. You're going to see me write copy, and you're going to come up with all these, you're going to say, well, I'm better than him, I have a better vocabulary than him, and I can do this and that. It's like, but you don't understand MVP 1 is about not using your brain. You can ask for 3 things in business. You can ask for quickness, 3 Qs in business. I don't know if I can find anything on this either. Didn't prepare a slide for you guys, but it's quickness, quality, and quantity. Easy to find some photos if you Google. So there is a concept where, as a manager, you say you have quickness, quantity, and quality. Ask for 2. You can only get 2 of those at a time. You can't get quality and quickness and still maintain a lot of quantity. And you could switch it around for any of those. So for MVP 1 or MVP 2, when we're building a website like this, you need to realize they're not asking for quality. It's impossible to. Quality comes at MVP 3, MVP 4. Because look at this over here. That car over there, that's MVP 4. I mean, I don't know why they went from a nice green paint job back to a beige. There should be like a bright, shiny red. But still, you get the idea. Back at number 1, it's just quickness. It's not quality. There's no quality there. It's probably halfway held together. And at 2, they might have upped the quality a little bit, but they definitely added quantity on. In number 3, this is when they switched to a quality mode. So number 1's no quality. Number 2's half quality. Look at it, it's even different colors. Pathetic. Not really quality focused at all. Maybe functional quality, but not visual quality. And then number 3, that's when you're curving it out, making it aesthetically beautiful. That's definitely 50% quality focused and 50% quantity. You might scale it out to where you can sell a lot more of them at this phase. When you move to number 4, that's almost 100% quality phase. So my point with that is I have like a 5-year timeline with this business here where we're going to redo the content of this over and over and over. And at MVP 1 though, MVP 2, this transition we're going through, I don't care about quality. I just care about quickness and quantity. So caring about quickness and quantity, I'm a perfectionist. I hate this phase. I hate it with a passion. I love when things are aesthetic. I mean, who wants to build a piece of junk like this? Nobody wants to. Nobody's going to take pride in that. You don't want to get up and go to work for your day and say, well, I built an old beat-up truck today. That's what I did for my job. I'm an expert and was just building an old beat up truck. It's not fun. There's no pride in that. And it doesn't really flare your artistic ability. But if you realize the most artistic and most successful people, they are amazing at building version 1.0. They realize version 1.0 plants the seed for all the extra versions. So the only way you can successfully get to that last version without having mommy and daddy pay for it or some trust fund or going in crazy debt by taking on investors, the only way is you have to go through this method. You have to scale it up, get your customers to believe in your product and vision, and actually give them a deliverable. So with that in mind, yes, I don't like this phase. I don't like MVP 1, MVP 2, but I understand its importance. I understand it is so important that that's why I'll do it. And I'll also set up some milestones for me to make sure that I do this correctly. So I'm going to, I think we have the same page open over here. I'm going to pull this out into its own page. In Windows, I'm holding down the Windows key and pressing right. Normally I teach you guys the Mac and the Windows version, but Mac does not have this option. So you guys are just stuck with your ugly pace myself. I don't want to make this feel as overwhelming as it really is. So, and I also want to communicate back to my manager the kind of success that I'm having. So this is our MS Planner, and if you saw my last tutorial, I put my own name on this task here. And so I'm going to go into this task, and we're not going to be making these pages since we updated the whole website. I'm going to delete all of these out. Whoa, deleted the wrong one. Okay, and then I'm going to take the name that's in here, and I don't need the full link. I'm just going to put the ending part. And you know what? That's going to be easier to see if I go into VS Code. So I'm going into VS Code, and we have all these subfolders. We have the About folder, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a fake one. So 5 pages here. So I'm going to go into this one, and I'm going to put About/Dreams. And I don't need to tell it that it's HTML. It should just... Anybody that's coming in here to watch what I'm doing, they'll understand. It's even more for me. I don't even know if anybody's going to be watching me do this. Okay, so there's 5, and then we have the causes. It's a lot of causes. Okay, so that's enough for now. This is 13 tasks, 13 pages. And on MVP 2.1, hey now, stay up there, check mark. So I'm going to mark both of them. It's kind of in the middle between which MVP this is. It's debatable. Maybe you guys consider lorem ipsum. When you see how ugly that is down there and you say, that's MVP 1, dude, there's no way I'd release something that looks that ugly with all fake text. I, on the other hand, I would release that. My standards aren't that high that, you know, the spacing is well, and I'm good with it. For MVP 1, not for MVP 2. Okay, so now that we have those in Planner, let's go through from the top and start working on those. So we have dreams here. And I'm not going to keep it all scrunched up like this. Kind of not going to. So this is VS Code over here and MS Planner. I'm going to bring the website up on my left side, and it's going to show me, let's see, we're on the dreams page. What we do, where's dreams? We teach dream building. That's the dreams page. Okay, and for me, I have a hard time doing copywriting if it's on a mobile size screen or a tablet. My brain just works better when it's full screen. Maybe I'm old. Maybe everybody's like that. I'd recommend it to you because it works for me. Okay, so I'm going to go from the top to bottom, and since we're on MVP 1/2, we want to book it through this. And one thing that I see when you get to the point that you know how to build a really high-end car like this, it's very difficult to go back to number one. I mean, very, very difficult. I find that there are 3 types of people in life. There are people that can start projects. They can do MVP 1. There are people that can do the middle portion of a project. They never can start something, and they can never finish something, but they can do the middle portions. And then there's other people, they are just crazy perfectionists. They never in their life can start something or even build something. Everything has to be perfect, and they're only good for that last part. So what I normally do when I hire people is I hire really trashy ghetto copywriters, content writers, developers, whatever it is, manufacturers. I hire the worst people ever that they just tell me, Matt, I can get that done next week. $5, get it done next week. And in their head, it's the best product in the world. But in reality, that's just MVP 1. And I'll hire them. And then after they get that done, then I take it over to a whole new team and I say, hey guys, we have this brand new project, just started it. I need you guys to do it from scratch. And in their head, nobody's worked on it yet. In this new team's head, they just say, oh, wow, that's trash. Yeah, I definitely need to help you on that. They're like, I can work on that for the next 6 months. Project, but it's actually not the most expensive. That sucker over there, that guy, man, he's expensive. And that's more where I am too. I mean, I'm a creative director. I've been in this field a really long time, but I understand the whole process. You normally don't want to hire this dude right back here building the junk car because, you know, he's making Ferraris, he's making Lamborghinis. So why are you going to hire him from day one? At the same time, if you do hire somebody right there, you can scale from 1 to 4 much more quickly, and you don't have to build the body of a dingy old pickup truck. He can start on the body of a Lamborghini and go for it. The main problem with getting this guy from the very beginning is he will usually waste all your money and he'll never deliver because he literally can't build something until it's perfect. He'll do this crap up here. And he'll say, that's a perfect wheel. It's a perfect 2 wheels. And I just don't like that mentality at all. So if you want to be amazing at this, you have to shift your whole mindset and say, today I'm an MVP 1 guy. Today I'm an MVP 2 guy. And, or you need to humble yourself and realize and just have awareness. Say, you know what? I'm better in the middle. I never finish anything and I never start anything. So I need to hire somebody out for that. Then I get to have my fun. And then I can hire somebody out for the end. And boom, now I get good products. Whether you're a contractor or you're the entrepreneur yourself, it doesn't matter. You need to have this awareness as to who you are and how you operate. So with that in mind, you know, I'm a perfectionist. And for me to write this copy, it does take me a lot longer than somebody that's not a very good copywriter. Because a not very good copywriter, they don't pay attention to all the small details that I do. Like, I'm only going to write exactly 1.5 sentences right here. I'm only going to write exactly 4 sentences here. I'm going to keep the structure that already exists. And that's very hard to do for the MVP 1 people. The MVP 1 people, man, they just tear it up. So Since we're doing MVP 1, and my end goal on that first version is just to get this out the door. It's not about amazing copywriting, and this is going to allow you to stay inside your budget really well. So when they hire you and they say, we have 50 pages for a nonprofit, and we have a budget of $1,000 for 50 pages. By the way, if anybody can finish this for $1,000, 50 pages, message me. That'd be nice. Because what is that? $20 a page? Yeah, $20 a page. So if you think about that, if you're going to get paid $20 to finish this page up, how can you make that worth your time? If you want to get paid $50 an hour and you're getting $20 for this page, then you need to get this whole page done in about 25 minutes. That's not bad money, but it could be way better. At $20 a page, you have to realize you're only looking at this first version back here. There's no way you're giving them some crazy high-end end model for $20 a page. I do have people on my staff that they'll actually make these pages. I think it's $10 per page, and they do decent. We use India companies and Philippine companies, and I'll show you some of their work actually. Where is it? Here we have OneNote. So let's look at some of the work that they do. Like, let's look at the Ignite Curiosity page. This is the old website. So they'll actually go in and they will write out UX copy, and these are all of their notes. They'll go and find UX research of different statistics. This is all just to put a handful of pages together. So these are just their scratch notes, doing all their market research. And then they come up with challenges that they want to face on the pages, and maybe have 3 people work on that. And yeah, the end goal, they'll come up with that other site that I was showing you. They'll come up with that end result for about $10 a page. And they're very happy at that pay rate. In their country, it's very good. It's only a few hours of work. But my end goal, you also have to realize why it's ethical to pay those prices. They're building MVP 1. They're not giving you something that's ready to take on the stock market. They're not giving you something that's ready to compete with those, McDonald's, Gatorade, or some really high-end, the Gates Foundation website. They're not giving you that. They're giving you the old beat-up truck, but it is functional. And there is that purpose. There's full companies out there. All they do is MVP 1. And that's okay. So hire them, have them put the structure together for you. It'll be very cheap. And then after you get just anything on there, then you can move over to the next level, and you're probably going to have to hire somebody that, for this middle area, that first area, you can get anybody in the world to do that. And that's where most copywriters struggle. They say, man, there are so many copywriters out here. They're doing this job. And the problem, though, not everybody's doing this job. Everybody's doing MVP 1. And the reason you're going to watch my tutorials is to learn how to get up into 2 and 3. It'll take you years to get into 4. Don't even attempt that till like year 5. But level 2 and 3, there's very few people here. 80% of every copywriter, everybody in the whole world in any job, they're in this first level. And the second 2, that takes at least a year of studying, a year of actual work. And not many people make it that far. The wannabes, the hobbyists, they don't put that time in. They don't watch videos like this, follow quizzes, do internships. They don't put that practice in to get to this level. So if you can get out of the muck and study enough to learn just a few tricks to get to this level, now you're up in an area to where you can have a career at this. You might only be making middle income for wherever you are in the world at this level, but it's still definitely a career. You can definitely raise a family on this. I wouldn't even say just an average family. You can do above average. 99% of the copywriters out there are in this field. The Joni Ives, or whatever the guy's name is, those designers and really high-end Don Draper type copyright advertising madmen, that's really all that you're going to find up here. This is the top 3% or whatever of the whole ad industry. And you just have to fall in love. I had a I had a hairstylist in California. I was a model out there, and this guy, amazing hairstylist. I went to see him, and my hair is wild. My hair's always been long, and he looked at me. He's like, Matt, I was at the park this weekend with my daughters. He had 2 daughters that were teenagers. He said, I was looking at the trees swaying back and forth, and I was getting inspired by their swaying of how I was going to cut your hair the next time you came in. And he was about $200 for a haircut. And that's a decent amount. That's a man's haircut. So a woman haircut, that might be normal, but a man's haircut, no, it's $20. So he's 10 times higher than the normal price. But you have to see, he's so crazy passionate. He's eccentric. The only way you can get to that last level there, you got to be eccentric. So yeah, when he went to the park and he's seeing the trees swaying, and those are inspiring him for a new hairstyle, that's eccentric. That's pretty crazy. But that's also why you can charge a lot. So we're back here on this page, and we want to just treat this like MVP 1. We don't want to go crazy and eccentric with it and really wow our audience. We want to think, how can we give a deliverable product with this at MVP 1 only? And if you think I'm talking a lot, you're very wrong, because I have trained people 20 years in this, and people do not honor the reason for that MVP 1. They just don't honor it. But I will go ahead and move forward. I'll take a split second. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and move forward, and we will start writing on this. So from the top to bottom, dream building as a language. Dream building as a language. I'm cool with that for MVP 1. Moving on. This is horrible. So let's change that one. Dream building as a language. So I want to move fast. So we're on dreams. That is lorem ipsum dolor. Sometimes it's hard to look for the lorem ipsum stuff. Control F. Lorem ipsum dolor. Just change it to hello. Save it. See if it changes over here. It's taking a little bit to reload. Taking a long bit to reload. And hello. Now, I've been in this industry a long time. I don't need to go that slow and make sure it's in the right spot, but I'm just showing you guys how you can play it safe. Just change one word, make sure it changes in the right spot. And now I know this is the lead area. That Donic is this area down here. And then the checks are those checks down there. And this is there are multiple ways. This is there are multiple ways. And then we advanced education. Where's that guy? What your single dollar can change. Oh, that's over here. So I'm just kind of getting in my head a mind map of where all these words are. Okay, so I feel pretty good. Now, if English is not your first language, then I highly, highly recommend, I mandate you to go and look at another learning company, or, just mimic some other success somewhere else. Do not use stuff out of your own head. So, learning nonprofit. I'm not going to follow this rule. I've just been doing this way too long. Maybe education nonprofit. I've been doing this too long. I have all the right words in my head. I don't need to do what I'm teaching you guys right now. And also, English is my first language, and I love it a lot. So, education advocacy, stand for children. Yeah, maybe this guy. Our mission. Look at that. Look at all that beautiful wording. They even have it in, what is that, Portuguese? I think it's Portuguese. So they have it in 2 languages for you. They have great copy, what we stand for, access to literacy, high school success. Now, you don't want to steal this outright, but you also don't want to waste time when there's plenty of words on the internet. You're not inventing anything here. You're just conveying a message as quick as possible to the audience. So I'm not going to do that, though. I'm not going to use these words. when you guys are playing Candy Crush and you're playing these little Angry Birds or whatever it is, I don't even own a phone. I'm reading these nonprofit websites. I'm involved in philanthropy a lot. So I eat, live, breathe this. So that's one reason in my head when I kick stuff out, it just flows really well. And I keep telling you guys I'm doing MVP 1, but as I just flow on this, it's actually going to kick it up to probably MVP 3, MVP 4, just because I just do copy all the time, and as I write it, it just flows really well. Okay, so like I said, you guys need to go and find other companies that kind of have the same vibe, see what their words are, find the pages that kind of reflect the page that you're on to get inspiration from, and then save that information up into your notes, just like I advise my other team to do. See how they're copying entire pages to get inspired by? You got to do that. But I'm going to wing it. After you've been doing this 15 years, you're allowed to just wing it. Okay, so we're back on this page, and let's see, dream building as a language. So we have boom, 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 boom. Okay, so I taught you all the philosophy I want for the day, so now we're going to more just get moving pretty quickly. Forget how long that one was. Almost perfect. We don't encourage, we teach. Okay, don't know if I typed too much. Let's just delete all this other stuff out. Making sure I'm not deleting anything I need. Okay, save that, go back and look. Forget how big it was before. Was it 4 lines? I'm gonna undo it. So Control Z a lot. Kind of scary when you do this, because if you mess one character up, You can actually lose everything you wrote. Okay, so yeah, it was 3 lines and not 4. So they have, oh no, it's 2 lines. It's just this teeny tiny piece up here. Okay, so let's redo all of that. So they have 2 lines, and if I look, it's 343 characters. So let's redo it. I like everything that I wrote, but if it's too big, I can take those words. Okay, I don't have 4 lines. I have, so theirs ended about right here, and mine comes down just right there. So let's go over. It doesn't look bad though. It doesn't look like we're off. Now, I wouldn't really suggest you guys make that decision. Keep it pretty tight. I think I added about this many too many words. You see, it will take it up 1 extra line if I get rid of that. I'm going to keep it though. Okay. So I'm inventing words as I do this, which is kind of normal. So I keep on calling it Visionary Lab, the Dream Lab, Dow Dreams. I think I like the Dream Lab instead of Visionary Lab. So Dow Dreams is our portion. It's a branch in research, this, and that. Okay. The Dream Lab. What did that look like before? Oh, it's a big title. So the Dream Lab, something. The Dream Lab. Whatever, it's just the Dream Lab for now. How about the Dow Dreams Lab? Okay, so below it, research and development. Civilization design. Anthropological, is that even a word? I don't know if I'm making stuff up here. Let's go research it. Anthropological. Sounds cool in my head. Anthropological linguistics. Ooh, what is that? Study of words, theory. Subfield of linguistics and anthropology, which deals with the place of language. Yeah, I want to put that in there. Anthropological linguistics. Look how cool we sound now. And so, these words are so powerful, just words are crazy powerful, that this company of ours will actually open up a whole branch just covering this and fund tons of money into it, get research and grants for it, just from us sitting here winging it on the website, just like that. That's how business is done. That's very, very normal. Okay, so research and development, civilization design, sustainable models. I'll put aerospace. Okay, I'm out of room. I saved it. Let's go back and see what she looks like. So like I said, we're at MVP 1. We don't want to put tons and tons of time in here. So it's in English. It fills up the right amount. And it has something to do with dreaming and research. So we're moving along. Dream building as a language. We teach dream literacy. So instead of I'm going to take that word also out. We teach dream literacy because we're talking about dream building as an entire language. That's how my brain works. I don't know if you want to call it like dyslexic copywriting, dyslexic editing maybe. Where's that word also? Oh, there it is. So I'll write something and I kind of grade it in my own head. I'm like, that's a 4 out of 10. That's a 5 out of 10. That's a 9 out of 10. Like this guy, he's like a 9. No, actually, he's like a 7 out of 10. I'm really happy with him. He doesn't really feel like a call to action, but he feels sophisticated, and it's definitely a big part of what we do. We put together entire systems for societies on the various languages that we think are important for them. And I think that's a big part of our future Dream Lab. Okay, so that looks good. I just took that also word out. I'm going to save it, go back. We teach dream literacy by allowing this so they may learn the So this whole it takes. I'm getting picky. I need to just move it along. That's the problem when you bring on some MVP 4 dude into some MVP 1 project. Okay, so we teach dream literacy by allowing students to shadow the dream specialists so they may to learn comprehensive recipes to bring dreams to reality. Okay, so I tightened that up more. We're back up to 2 lines. I should see it reflected over here, not really taken up. Oh. We teach dream by allowing to learn to bring dreams to reality. Okay, so that's tighter. Yeah, you want to get rid of words that say like maybe or we will. You want to make it sound like it's happening now. Okay, so next up is over here. Donate. I'm just going to say help make a difference. Save that. Now, it's going to be the programmer's job to actually make this functional. It's not your job as a copywriter. So as long as the words look cool, then you're good. I wonder if that NUSD needs to stay there. I guess we'll keep it for now. Okay, so moving along. So now we have 3 little buttons on here. And I think we should kind of take these check marks that we made, and I think we should put them in here and then give a little bit more information. I love being redundant. I actually don't like to give people too much new things to think about on a website. This isn't a book. It's just supposed to give people a glance at what's going on. At least most websites are. So, in one of our other tutorials, we talked about we made a ton of photos. I mean, we made thousands. So now, in the back end of our code, we actually have See, this is like A197, A324. We made all of these different numbers, and I don't think I can see them to see what they all are here. Let's see if I go to images/800. Localhost. Because I don't want to do that with you guys unless we can see them. It's not fun for you to have to guess through. I mean, yeah, we can see them here, but I want to see them. Like, I can't hit the next button. On our other computer, we can actually see every single one of these. We're just kind of remoting into that computer. So since we're remoting in, we can't see it. But what I do want to do right now, again, just for MVP1, notice how we've already seen these photos. If you go to some of our other pages, so we're on the Dreams page. So yeah, if we go here, look at that. You can see the exact same photos. Not cool. So at least let's just change it to make it look like we did something. So how about 198? How about 323? And 316. I mean, that's not hard to do. It's not going to be perfect because we have no clue what those are. But again, you're at MVP1. You don't need to be perfect. Okay, so we can make this one the anthropological linguistics. None of those are civilization or research based. I don't think I can get lucky and find one. I'm not going to waste your guys' time. Why is he the same? Middle dude. Okay, so back to copy. Just to let you guys know where I am. I'm in this paragraph right here. I'm just going to give an overview. So that is 172 characters. So linguistic covers. So what's this page about again? About dreaming. So I need to stay on topic and talk about the dreaming concept. I was going to talk about the idea that linguistic covers all types of areas. Maybe that's not appropriate for a dream page. So for dream building as a language. A to Zen, how you like that for a DAO page? We help students understand the A to Zen process. I went overboard on how much to write. But let's save it. Let's go back and see. So we got 3 on there. Dreaming as a language. I'm going to change it to that. I'm going to dumb it down too. I don't like having sophisticated wording even on sophisticated companies. So when we treat dreaming as a language, we can then break down the it is in process. To teach students Okay, that's cool. That's unique. Maybe we got back. Still 3 lines. Ridiculous. Whatever. I like it though. Like what it says. It's not throwing off too much spacing. It's not throwing this down. And again, we need to fly. You're working with a turtle here, and I'm trying to fly. Okay, so the next 3 areas we have. I was going to pull some out of these check marks. That's going to be aerospace. Okay, this is the third guy. Okay, I know the first guy. I don't know if you guys are watching that. I'm not talking when I'm typing, but I'm typing stuff out. I get a new idea. I erase it, and I come back. You know what? I got a new idea for this stuff up here, too. Century civilization. I have this concept where IBM teaches this. They say teach a student what's going to happen in the next 30 years. Don't teach a student what's relevant in business today. Teach them what they need to know for 30 years from now, because those jobs haven't even started yet. So for this branch that's talking about dreams of the crazy future, I want to talk about 100 years in the future. And century. So I want to, like, century civilization. A century civilization. Next century civilization. Pretty cool, huh? So I don't know if we're going to keep that, next century civilization, NCC, but we coin phrases like that all the time. If you see what this looks like, put the ampersand and the word trade and a semicolon. that brings up the trademark button, and I save it. So if you guys are watching this video, you can't steal that from me now because I trademarked it. And our next century civilization might already be trademarked. It's not that big of a deal. But I will add it up here. I'll take it back to the board and ask them if we like that concept. One of our board members, man, he's obsessed with the future. It's all about the future. Next century civilization. And you also want, if you're going to make something big like that, you want to take it onto Google. I don't see anybody that has like nextcenturycivilization.com or... Yeah, everybody thinks the world's going to end. This final century. So stupid. Okay, so we have that trademarked. In our next century, we focus. So that's really high-end copywriting. You're coming up with brands. If you guys saw what I did on the McDonald's website, where I showed you they have that new McDelivery, and they actually registered it. They're scared somebody's going to steal McDelivery, so they register that so nobody else can use that word. But they do that with a lot of their copy. You can't use the word Big Mac at any other burger joint. You can't use quarter pounder. Them measuring beef by pounds and by a quarter pound, a half pound, they literally trademarked that concept. That's how powerful words are. People go into Wendy's and Hardee's and all these all the time, and they ask for a quarter pounder, and it just makes the staff mad there. They're like, we don't sell quarter pounders. We sell, a 4-ouncer. That kind of concept. Okay, so we have this guy done. Now we're on the middle one. And let's talk about anthropological linguistics. And let's even research what these other people think that even means again. So it deals with the place of language in its wider social and cultural context. The place of language. Man, you just can't really say it better than that. It's Wikipedia. I don't know if it's free to take stuff on there, but we're taking it for now. Taking it for MVP 1. Okay, so the second one. Just paste in our Wikipedia stuff. And we do have to clean it up some. We focus on language in its wider social and cultural context and its role in making and maintaining cultural practices and societal structures. Oh my gosh, if I could spell. Okay, let's go back and see what that looks like. In our next century civilization, we focus on aspects of this. In anthropological linguistics, we focus on language in its wider social and cultural context. Where am I getting that word context? Yeah, they used it up there. That word context is in my brain now. Anyway, I'm going to delete this stuff out. And to create languages around the dreams. Okay, so I want to show you guys something kind of complex. This is a preposition. This is a preposition. This is a preposition. So I wrote all of this, but man, look at all these prepositions. I just do not like when someone writes that many prepositions. So I'm going to cut that down. We partner with innovative enterprises. Yes. So I cut out just one of my prepositions there. Okay, so we partner with innovative enterprise Okay, so I still don't like it. We partner with innovative aerospace and AI enterprises to build policy procedure and to create languages around the dreams, around their dreams, to allow future generations to digest a collective vision more easily. Okay, so let's go back and see what that looks like. Okay, so from the top we have this, that, help make a difference. I'd say the main thing we're missing here is a link. And I actually believe I'm going to change out how this works. These 3 bullet lists, I think I'm going to put up on top, and then I'm going to take this guy and put down bottom. Copywriters don't do this, but it's actually not that hard either. This is called Bootstrap. Bootstrap is super easy to learn. So I'm going to break that down for you now. This up here says 8.8. See, that's 4.4. So how this whole website's set up, I'm teaching you web design right now. Sorry, guys. This is set up in columns. This is actually, man, I hope I don't tell you wrong. It's 12 across. Okay? So just think of from here to there is 12, and you can break down how far it goes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Anyway, it's 12. So this area over here is 8, and this area over here is 4. And the same thing up here. This is 8, and this is 4. That's called the Bootstrap theme, and knowing Bootstrap, man, it helps you so much just in life to be a content creator. So what I'm going to do is, see up here it says 8, in that little div. I'm going to go down here, and boom, right there it ends. And as you see, this has global literacy, STEAM education, and tech focused. So global literacy, STEAM, tech focused. So I want to take this out. Don't try this at home, kids. I'm going to cut that sucker out completely. It's just going to be empty right now. I want to go up and find that volunteer area, or the help make a difference. Notice how he's 4 as well. So he's a column 4, so that's going to work perfect. So right after this other one, I'm going to paste that in, and then I'm going to cut out this. Now guys, I'm an expert at this. I know I'm making it look easy. It is not this easy. You might spend 2 hours just doing what I'm doing here in 5 seconds. Take it right back in here where that little blank spot was, paste it in, and I save it. Okay, and then I go back, see what it looks like, and look how beautiful. What I don't like is there's too much white space here with this. So I can add more in here, or I could take out over here. And I believe I'm going to take out over here. Now the reason I did this, so let's go back to that tech focused area. Yeah, let's take one of those suckers out. We don't need the spacer either. Save it. But now it's going to be too much white space over here. But I have an envision with it. I'm going to add a call to action that says go to Dow Dreams, visit Dow Dreams, something like that. So I need to find a button. I believe we have a button on literacy advocacy. That's a button. Nope, don't like him. I'm a scavenger. I steal from other places. Here we go. That looks beautiful. I'm going to take this here, this whole piece, and just make it smaller. So that's on the future page, and let's start doing. Okay, so we go to future, and I'm going to press Control F. Let's start. And there it is. So let's start doing a bit for your world. Donate a little. Then it has a donate button. And the div is called a CTA. So I'm going to copy that entire call to action, entire CTA. So like I said in my last tutorial to you guys, man, everything you do needs to be call to action based. If you're not doing things around a call to action, then it's useless, just beyond useless. So up here above the global literacy, I'm going to paste that in. So let's get back on our page that we're working on. I think this is it. And global literacy, I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to line it up. Okay, and then save it. At least for now, it's a little donate button up here. And yeah, it's not perfect. It's not really what I want. But let's get rid of the paragraph completely. Let's save that. Oh my. Well, maybe I'll just keep the paragraph instead of the button. See what that looks like. Yeah, I like the paragraph. Okay, so if we have the paragraph and then we say something about Dow Dreams, visit Dow Dreams. And I can just fly on, writing links and all that. You might want to go and Google, how do I make a link? And I'm just going to put a hashtag in there for now. That's like a fake link. I just want to see what it looks like. Visit Dow Dreams. I think it looks good. It's not perfect. Still too much white space over here. Got a little space up there. It's annoying. Let's see why. Let's inspect it. And I bet somewhere above it, I bet this div here. See how that white space he adds? Well, if you guys are this far in your copywriting career, then go for what I'm doing right now. If you're not, just you could stop there, and we already got 99% of this page done. This looks gorgeous, all that's done. Even how it was before, where this stuff was on the bottom and this was on the top. It looked good. You can turn that in. If you're in a third world country doing that, or if you're just starting out, If you were higher, I mean, I did a lot of high-end stuff. I could charge a few $100 for what I did on here, and anybody would be very happy with that. And I have other tutorials teaching how to charge clients. I actually don't think it's smart to charge per page in copy. When you're starting out, yes, absolutely. But after you get a lot further in your career, you should be charging percentage of their success, or signing like a $40,000 contract for the year, $150,000 contract for the year, and then $50,000 thereafter for the next 4 years. So it actually turns into a $250,000 contract for you. And that's actually very normal in the industry. You're going to find a lot more successful businesses this size that they have that kind of budget. But they're looking for somebody that has this high end of skill level, that they actually understand at least a little bit of Bootstrap to move stuff around. They can set up trademarked names and work within a framework that's gorgeous without breaking it, come up with different ideas that all flow into each other, maybe change the links a little bit. That all is within side of what I would consider a high-end copywriter. And we do offer tutorials. As you see on the bottom of the screen down here, we have the Ignite Curiosity. You can go to the Ignite Curiosity website, and you can sign up there to join tutorials and join job shadowing, internships, all types of opportunities. And we have tons of tutorials on there teaching how to get to this level. But the end goal is to make things perfect. I mean, beyond perfect. I'm not happy with this yet. It's not perfect yet, so I'm not happy with it. One of the main things that I think I can do is, these are actually in 2 different rows. This is a row, and then this is a row over. So what I really should do, could do, I want to say should do. What I could do is make this all just one row all the way down, and then make this, make this one row all the way down, or a column all the way down. I'm going to do that. Okay, so see here it says container and row. We're going to take this junk out here. It even highlights it for me, showing me where it is. So this row, so I want this one down to there. Cut that out. Now the reason I'm doing this, I don't like this spacing here, and I don't like that spacing down there. So if I can move this up, it should get rid of that and that at the same time. And the way to do that, instead of it being on row here and row here, I'm going to have huge column down and huge column down. So I cut that out already. Now I have to go up here and find the end. So here's the end of my list. So after that list, paste all of that in as another 8 columns. And like I said, I move super fast. I've done this for years. I know Bootstrap very well. So I'm going to take this one here too. This is another 4 column. And I'm going to go to the end of it, cut it out. Nope, sorry. I'm going to this 4 column down here. Cut him out. And I'm going to put him underneath the 4 column that's here. Okay, so that's not exactly going to do what we need it to. It's going to be very messed up. And then I'm going to take out the spacer. No, we can leave the spacer in. But I take out this row, and then I take out this container. That was the secondary one. Still not going to work, but I'll show you how far we got on that. Okay. So the reason it didn't work is it's putting this inside of, it's just not taking it all the way out. So what's going to fix that is going up and looking at, so they have column, mid 8, content block. And at the end of it, instead of letting it end right here and starting a new, did we put it in? Oh, we did put it inside of there. Yeah, so I don't want to start a new one here. So we're going to get rid of starting that new column 8. But we also have to get rid of the bottom of it. So we have to get rid of one of these guys. Then we can take all of that, move it back, save it. That should clean it up. We're going to have to add a spacer in. Okay, so now I'm liking this a lot more. And like I said, I don't recommend you guys doing what I just did. It's just complex. But learn Bootstrap, because look how fast I can do that. It's just called Bootstrap. It's super easy. You can go and Google Bootstrap. This is Bootstrap version 4. And they keep the same Bootstrap for like 4 or 5 years before they upgrade to a new one. And after you understand Bootstrap, you can feel very powerful on basic sites like this. I'm not using Wix. I'm not using WordPress. This is just very basic HTML. You know, I don't like that there's space right there, and I don't like that there's space down here. However, remember, we're doing MVP 1. We're not doing something crazy. I do want to play around with this just for a second to see if I can get that centered. Here it is. Okay, so it says CTA. We're going to add in here text-center and save it. That's just a command found everywhere. See how it made it in the center? When you memorize Bootstrap classes like that, and in my other tutorials I'll tell you guys, don't change anything unless it's white. If it's white here, that's copywriting. If it's not white, it is not copywriting. Changing the orange stuff, the blue stuff, it's not copywriting, guys. That turns into web design. But that's what I'm doing right now. So that text center, that's all you have to know, and you can center your text very quickly. And now that looks a lot better. There's still some space up here, and I haven't memorized. I have guys that they work in this orange stuff all day long, and we call that front-end engineering or UX UI. There's a lot of different names for it, or just web designer. And they definitely know off the top of their head how to move that up just a hair. I forget. I'm going to Control F, type in the word top. It has something to do with top. No, I'm not seeing it. It's like, maybe there's like padding B0. But if you go and type into Google, remove padding, Bootstrap, top. Remove the top margin of header in Bootstrap. Margin top 0, it's not really it. Well, if it takes me more than 5 seconds to do it, it would take you guys a long time. So just don't do that. But for MVP 1, I'm very happy with that page. I did teach you guys a ton. We spent a large portion of our lesson today just talking about what this stuff is on the car. But you see, my actual time that I went into the website and I worked on this, it was not very long at all. We got a lot accomplished. It looks really pretty. And now we just want to go through and turn and burn these pages. We still have this section here to fix, which I'm going to work on. Down here below, we need to work on this kind of stuff. And then that page is pretty much done. Okay, so let's finish that up. I personally don't like this down here. Again, this is not copywriting, this is a little bit of web design. I'm going to delete this. Some of the success stories. So I want to see some of the success stories. So if you search, there's a whole container here called this, and I'm going to follow this div down to the end of that container. It's right there. Just delete that out. And that simple, that quickly. Now you also see this is an empty div. This area is just empty. It's nothing. He was holding that. So now it looks like it never was even there. So I save it, go back and look. That whole area. Look at that, guys. Nothing to write copy in now. Okay, so this area, we need to fix the padding on it. Spacer 50. Site footer. Well, I don't think it's going to happen. Just going to have that space down on it. But we can fix this over here. Okay, so global literacy. STEAM education. Ooh, that was fast. Good enough for me. I'm happy with it. Okay, so 1 out of 50, guys. So let's move on to the second one, literacy advocacy. If you're done and that's all the training that you want, then you're done. Nobody's forcing you to stay here and watch. If you want to learn more, I'm still going. I do this about 8 hours a day, and I love copy. I love all the aspects that go along with it. So I'm going to just go ahead into the next page. I'm going to go more at my own speed, and you can follow along if you want. Or I would recommend, if you aren't used to learning that much, then take a break here and come back at a time when you feel refreshed and you're ready for round 2. So with that said, we're going to go over here to the literacy advocacy. And I put this photo together, but I don't remember if I made it for this page. Our pedagogy. I think I made it for that page. Yeah, see, it's the same. So let's see, advocacy. So with advocacy, I think I want a picture of the little girl on here. Like a little girl like this reading. There's one of the little girl with a book. She was showing up on all of our pages. Let's see, I think she was on... Forget, just gotta go and look, I guess. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to right click on her, copy image address, and then I'm going to go back to We Teach Literacy Advocacy. This is the page we're working on right now. And now let's open up. So what's it called? Literacy. Literacy. Ooh, and we get to check off something. So let's go into our planner. And we finished up the future page, right? Let's go look. So we have the future page. No, not future. Dream page. Okay, so dream page is done, so let's check that off. It says future page is next. Well, I already have that on my clipboard for the literacy page, so it's at least fixed for photo. Okay, so we're on literacy, and let's look for... Let's bring the literacy page up to make sure we know what it looks like. Okay, we have one big photo here. And these pages are pretty simple. It's very easy copywriting when all you have is a big chunk of paragraph like that. Much more simple than that last page we just did. Should have started out over here. But I do want to change this photo because I want to use that photo somewhere else. So what am I looking for? We encourage. And then it has collage. Okay, so I'm going to be using photo 897, A197. Save that. Should be a big photo of the little girl. So slow. And then we have... Wait, it's not in there? 900 A197 800 A197. Well, maybe she's not in the 900s. I think I need the 900 one here though. Well, that one looks good. It's wide enough. I'm just making sure it's wide enough. Okay, so literacy advocacy. That means we advocate, like we lobby so that people are more literate around the world. We encourage learning languages in many ways. Our pedagogy. So that vocab is for the other one. It's too much. Advocacy. How about just striving to make language learning the #1 priority for society? Okay, and I don't need a tree in there. So where's our tree? Forest, 200 forest. But let's look at the drop down for what the 200. So it's images 200 forest. Well, I might be able to delete it out. And when you put the slash in, it gives you a suggestion. Nope, no suggestions. All right, so let's look for it. Images 200. Come on, just 2. It's not cool. All right, how about meeting? Maybe meeting is going to be better than the forest. Oh my, they look like nerds. Super nerds. Remember, guys, it's MVP 1 though. Okay, so we'll keep them. Striving to make language learning the number one priority for society. I don't like that we don't have capitals up there. It just feels better to me if it's capitals. And that's a big part of copywriting. I'm showing you some things. I'm kind of breaking the rules a little on what copy really is. So one thing to know, these are prepositions. If you don't know what prepositions are, learn it. Learn verbs, adverbs, nouns, pronouns. You gotta know your English, man. What is a preposition? You can watch videos to learn this. I learned about a cat. What a cat does. I guess here's a lot of comments. So learn all of those. You never capitalize those in a sentence, even when you're doing copy, even on a big headline. Now, you're allowed to break the rule anytime you want to. You can do whatever you want. But just normally, the brain's not used to seeing those capitalized. Yeah, I think it looks better. Caps like that. Like, see, we already did it over here. Caps, but the prep was lower. Okay, striving to make language learning the number one priority. Striving to. Well, now that feels weak. Now I made everything else strong. Sure, we'll roll with it. Okay, so down here we pretty much just have 3 paragraphs to write. Pretty simple. And I want to get rid of this author down there. This isn't a blog. I took this concept from a blog. Okay, well, I don't know where it is. So Emma Paquette. Search for her name. So about author. The cool thing about this, see how it's called section and section? You can just delete that all out. You just take all of that, hit delete, close it up, save it, and boom, it'll be gone. Much better. And just even these 2 sides up, I'll probably add an extra, probably that's this many sentences, just even that side up. So I'm just going to copy that there and go over to it. I have to turn my word wrap on for this page too. Okay, so I want to go over to this, paste that in, save it. I care about my spacing and everything before I get started. Okay, that looks good. Now, you don't want to get too picky on that spacing because we live in a world where everybody has a different size screen. Like, look, when I size this down, it just, completely different. Back in the old days when everybody had just one screen, you would want to get really picky on that. And for a very big multi-million-dollar company, you actually set up a lot of different rules to make sure it looks perfect no matter what size you're on. But if it's a smaller company, you're bootstrapping it, MVP 1, pick 1 or 2 dimensions to go with. And if you do use Bootstrap, where you're using somebody else's template, then that takes care of a lot of those problems for you. And then you as a copywriter, you don't want to go outside the boundaries of what was created. So I'm just going to write exactly within these boundaries now. And again, you want to move pretty fast. I mean, this I'm making sure my feed is all working. I'll be right back with you guys. Well, looks like we're all good. Everything's running just fine. Okay, so going back into that page, and so we shift society to make, okay. Beautiful. Okay, so I wrote three paragraphs. Took me, oh my gosh, it's not long enough. Okay, I can't brag yet. Let's go back and let's clean it up. Okay, so let's actually read it over on the other site. After building many civilizations around the world, anthropologists, economists, and experts in many fields let's save that and go back. Now agree the importance of literacy as the core function of society. It is our mission to teach the most important languages for society to function at its high capacity. We have multiple programs. Most only relate literacy Most people, and even most educators, only relate literacy to spoken languages. However, literacy goes much deeper than this. We open people's mind to the idea of continual learning of languages in a variety of fields. You can learn financial literacy, computer languages, social etiquette, Did I hit it? I did. Okay, it's much easier for teachers to break down. This pedagogical approach is revolutionary. Our minds can only hold a few languages, and let's speak them the most frequently. Okay, so last paragraph. We work equally between a few key missions. To open minds of the importance of diversifying the amount of languages people develop fluency in, That sounds just weird. Don't sound like I'm good at language if I'm writing that. Okay, first, we forecast the most essential languages of our future. We forecast the most essential languages. Much more concise. And half cent's too long, but it's good. Doesn't matter on that. Okay, so I'm happy with that for MVP 1. My brain's kind of burnt out on it. If you guys followed this long, kudos to you. That's a lot. All of this over here already looks good. It's not really copy there that needs changed. So we can mark this page off too. So that's a literacy page. We're going to go back here. I'm going to check off literacy. So that's 2 out of 14. That's why I didn't put any more on here, because that was 2 hours of my time to get those 2 off. Again, I spent probably 45 minutes just explaining to you guys what MVP was, and the rest was actually doing copywriting. So really maybe an hour worth of actual copy. That last page was way longer because I did so much on the actual, or I don't know where it was. Here we go, dream building. It's really complex since it has checkboxes and columns. That's a lot harder page to put together than the one that we just made, which was literacy advocacy. But the cool thing about this, after you just do 1 or 2 pages like that, it really sets the tone for the whole company. You can hire, oh, look at that, I made a spelling mistake. You can hire anybody else to come in after you've done this, and then they're going to understand what they need to do because they can see your own tone. They can get some more knowledge of what's going on. So whoever lays down that very first framework really sets the tone for everybody else. So now this company has the main page, which looks really good, and it has tons of stuff in here speaking about all of it. And then on the what we do, it has 2 pages, the literacy advocacy page done and the dream building page is done. If we get the Teach the Future, the consortium, the pedagogy, if we get those all finished, then it's very easy to hand this whole project over to a secondary copywriter and just tell them, go read those first few pages and finish up the rest. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the Ignite Curiosity program. You can log into that on ignitecuriosity.org, and we are open to interns, apprentices, even just doing job shadowing. We have copywriters, graphic designers, 3D modelers, a full media agency. We have a lot of people you can learn from on that platform. And we're very excited to share everything that we do with you. We want to see people succeed. We're not here to make profit off of anybody. You can hire a coach privately if you'd like to. And we do offer a few group classes, and both of those are paid, where you have to pay. But the tutorials you're seeing now and the majority of what we offer on that system, it's 100% free. And we even have a full program called Silk Women, which allows any woman entrepreneur to come on, learn how to put their business together. Big group of women that help on that. And I really look forward to seeing you guys immerse in this program. I'd like to see what you guys do with your own copywriting and how this affects and shifts your consciousness into new ways of doing copy for your company, and how you can move your clients into new realms. I did leave a poll on here, so you're welcome to reply on that, on what you want to see in the future, what's going to help you in your business next, and I will see you guys next time.